Recently, a news shook up the Indian media. 6-year-old Anna died of a heart attack. Her mother claims it was due to excessive work pressure and stress from the company which she worked in, which was a multinational. It was sad and provoked thought. There's a huge uproar. I know from my experiences that most companies have a well being program for their employees. They're worried about the mental health of their employees and their well being. But why does such incidents still happen? Why do we see a lot of people, young people, complaining of toxic work culture, of work related stress, of excessive work? Her mother complained of pressure on the girl to work in the late evenings to complete something or work on weekends. It was looked down if you're not sitting late or working in the weekends. I've been thinking about this and I realized that it's not the company really, but it's the pressure today to perform. While the companies focus on well being, our pressure in the environment to perform and continuously do well is what's putting a lot of pressure of expectations on us. My advice to young people is to expect that the work environment will change dramatically is probably not correct and will not happen. But what can happen is our coping mechanisms. How do we cope with these expectations and pressures? How do we manage ourselves so that we continue to be highly productive and performing while managing our well being also in the same time? Let's jump in and watch some of those tips.
Three, two, one.
Let's go.
The first thing to do is to recognize these signs of burnout. Especially when we are young, we try to ignore them or mask them. But instead of going into denial, you need to first understand that these are signs of you burning out. Whenever you feel excess fatigue, especially in the evening, you don't sleep well, you feel tired, lack of motivation, anxiety, feeling of being overwhelmed are all signs that you are close to getting burnt out. Early recognition will help you take action on how to fix them. This is the first step. Be aware that you are getting close to burnout. I find it becomes almost natural for us to overcome it. When somebody asks, if you do it by, say, next 3 days, you know it's tough, but you still say yes because in your mind, that's how you keep your competition away. So you overcome it and then you struggle to meet that deadline. That you don't have to say yes to everything. It's okay to say no to some things because people will keep asking you to do more and more, and there's no shame in saying no. My bandwidth is choked, which is fine. And in this whole process, we end up doing work beyond office hours, weekends. We have to limit checking emails and messages outside office hours. I've seen a good practice followed by many where they write in the bottom of every mail, it's auto message, which says you're not expected to respond outside office hours. It's showing respect to the other guy and saying, don't worry, if you are seeing this after office hours, don't have to rush and respond. Tomorrow morning is fine. And for most cases, tomorrow morning is fine. So don't check your mail, and today you can check it on mobile, don't check, and your messages outside office hours. You need to practice self management techniques. I talked about these in my previous videos. I'll put some links below. But the key ones are exercise. You must exercise daily. Quantity is not so important, but the consistency is important. You must do it regularly. Half an hour, 1 hour, fine. Floor exercise is fine. But the blood pumping, the cardiovascular impact helps lower stress and make sure that you heart disease is prevented and you're safe from some of these. Meditation and mindfulness. Again, you don't need to do complex stuff. I have discussed some very simple techniques on meditation. Just do that. It's known to calm down the body and focus your thinking and bring clarity. And finally, the most instantly resolving technique on stress is the deep breathing, 3 stroke 6 technique. 3 deep intake of breath and then release it slowly at the count of 6. I have demonstrated how it's done in an earlier video, but deepen briefly and release very, very slowly. It brings immediate calming down of the anxiety and stress that you feel just before an important event. I have used this successfully when I have to speak in front of large audiences or on some very important topics. Use that. Of course, sleep and nutrition are absolutely important for managing your stress. 7 to 8 hours are recommended sleep, and I know even if you're struggling to sleep, but get into bed early and stay in bed for that at least 7 hours. Slowly you will learn to fall asleep. Don't try and have a drink before going to sleep or looking at Netflix runs. You can read a book if you want and gently get into sleep. Sleep is a great refresher. You will feel so great if you get some good deep sleep for long hours at the night. Don't minimize the impact of sleep. Balanced diet, nutritious food will go a long way in keeping you calm and away from serious illness like heart attack. Seek social. Nothing wrong in seeking social support. Talk to friends, talk to family, talk to colleagues. Share what you're going through and the thoughts and the feeling of feeling overwhelmed. Talk to them. Just the process of talking to others and sharing gets you to feel very calm. It just makes you feel more relaxed. I found talking to colleagues and then realizing everyone is in the same boat and going through the same journey magically calms you down. Talk to your social network. How do you prioritize tasks is also going to make a huge difference on how you feel on top of the work that you have. Break down your work into manageable tasks with what you should do every day, the things to do every day. Keep ticking them off. That's a great pleasure in small wins that you achieve every day. You feel on top, you don't feel overwhelmed. Don't look at the whole giant goal that you have to do in the year. Break it into smaller monthly or weekly tasks and achieve them. And they're far more achievable, they're far more in your control. And you will feel so good about these small wins. Try that. Almost all big companies today fund your medical health, the medical checkup. Please go, don't miss it. Go for your annual checkup. Look at the results seriously. Take action on them seriously. Doesn't matter how young or old you are. Don't ignore this. Find time for this and do it. Early detection of stress related heart diseases or any other diseases can help take preventive action and stop serious results happening. Talk to your manager, talk to your boss. I don't know why people have this very unhealthy relation about with the boss. I know there are some of the bosses were toxic, but most are not. They are also under pressure. They have to deliver results. So when you talk to them about the problems you are going through, they want to help. They'll figure out ways to manage the workload, distribute it in a different manner, or work on flexible work conditions like working from home, etc. That gives you better sense of getting the work done and not feeling overwhelmed. Your boss is not your enemy. Talk to her or him, and I'm sure you'll find solutions. Finally, seek professional help. Like I always recommend, have a coach or a mentor, not necessarily in your organization. These people have more experience and have gone through this journey, who have all felt overwhelmed at some time and have found coping mechanisms. They can talk to you, they can guide you through this process. They're absolutely important in your journey. Don't ignore this. And I know in India it's not such a common thing to have a mentor or a coach, but it is absolutely vital. And all you have to do is look at champion sportsmen. They all have a coach or a mentor working with them for long periods of time because they go through the same stress and pressure of succeeding, of winning. So, have a coach, have a mentor. In summary, the work environment is not going to go through a drastic change. It's going to be tough, it's going to be demanding, it's going to expect you to be more productive and delivering results. But what can change is our ability to cope with these pressures, to not only cope but to get on top of them, take advantage of them, and succeed in spite of them, and do very well and be happy and lead a healthy life. You can do it. Just follow some of the coping mechanisms that I've just talked about, and you'll be fine. Till the next time, stay unstoppable.